Horrific murder. Young girl kills foster mother due to illicit relationship with father. In the early morning of November 16, 2012, at 1:17 a.m., the Willoughby Hills Police Department received an emergency call from a panicked voice. It was 13-year-old Megan Knoffel, who had awakened to the sound of barking dogs and screaming. With a trembling, broken voice, Megan tried to explain to the dispatcher that she discovered her foster sister attacking her mother with a knife. Amid crying and chaos, the dispatcher tried to understand the situation. "What is your sister doing with the knife? You need to take deep breaths so I can understand what you're saying." Police quickly arrived at the scene and discovered a bloody scene. Lisa Knoffel, 41, a social worker and experienced foster mother, lay motionless on the master bedroom floor with multiple stab wounds. Standing beside her was Sabrina Zunick, 16, the family's foster daughter, holding a 38 cm serrated knife with a black handle. Zunick was also covered in blood. Lisa's husband, Kevin Knoffel, was not home that fateful night. He was working as a bus driver on a route between Ohio and Michigan. Police had to call to inform Kevin about his wife's tragic death. Sabrina Zunick was immediately taken to the police station. There, she claimed she had lost her mind during the attack and only remembered going into Lisa's bathroom to get headache medicine. Afterward, Zunick requested a lawyer. However, the amount of blood in the bedroom told a different story. Lisa had suffered at least 178 stab wounds, many of which were defensive injuries. Zunick also had cuts on her hands from the attack, although her injuries may have been self-inflicted. Evidence at the scene suggested this was an act of blind rage, not a mental breakdown. The question that puzzled investigators was, what could make this 16-year-old girl so angry that she felt murder was the solution to her problems? Initially, the investigation focused on Sabrina Zunick, who was caught red-handed with the bloody knife. However, as investigators dug deeper into the case, they began to suspect Kevin Knoffel's role in this tragedy. Several suspicious details gradually emerged. First, investigators noticed Kevin's unusual reaction when informed of his wife's death. According to the testimony of officers at the scene, instead of the shock and pain typically seen when losing a loved one, Kevin appeared unnaturally calm. Moreover, just days after Lisa's death, Kevin began the process of claiming life insurance worth over $750. More noteworthy was Zunick's reaction after her arrest. Although she initially claimed to have lost her mind during the attack, after multiple interrogations, she began to reveal information about an inappropriate relationship between her and Kevin. These revelations led investigators to believe the case was not simply an impulsive murder. Investigators sifted through Kevin and Zunick's phone records. They discovered over 1.200 calls and messages exchanged between the two in the 8 months prior to the murder. This amount of communication seemed abnormal for a foster father-daughter relationship and suggested a deeper connection. The turning point in the investigation came in June 2013, when one of Zunick's fellow inmates contacted investigators. This person testified that Zunick had confessed to a sexual relationship with Kevin and a conspiracy to kill Lisa. With this information, investigators had enough reason to formally interrogate Kevin. In August 2013, Kevin was summoned to the police station. The interrogation lasted several hours, with investigators presenting details of each piece they had gathered during the 8-month investigation. Initially, Kevin denied all allegations of an inappropriate relationship with Zunick and especially denied any involvement in his wife's death. The breakthrough in the interrogation came when investigators revealed they had obtained a full confession from Zunick. She had agreed to cooperate with prosecutors in exchange for a plea deal. Zunick had provided specific details about her sexual relationship with Kevin, their conversations about killing Lisa, and how Kevin had instructed her on how to commit the murder. Faced with these revelations, Kevin still adamantly denied everything and requested a lawyer. The interrogation ended, but investigators had enough information to bring formal charges. Kevin was arrested and faced 11 charges, including conspiracy to commit aggravated murder, complicity in aggravated murder, and multiple charges related to sexual abuse of Zunick. What Kevin did not reveal during the interrogation was the illicit relationship between him and Zunick. According to court documents, it all began when Kevin complained about leg pain from his truck driving job. Zunick, in an effort to please her foster father, began massaging Kevin's thighs. This was the beginning of a change in their relationship. During a family camping trip to North Carolina during spring break, the relationship escalated to physical intimacy. Subsequently, Zunick claimed to have developed romantic feelings for her foster father. She even changed Kevin's contact name in her iPod to Kevin Love and began buying him gifts. During trips taking Zunick to school, the two continued their sexual relationship. A teacher from Zunick's school even shared in an NBC interview that he recalled a time when he noticed a suspicious interaction between Kevin and his foster daughter. The teacher claimed to have witnessed Zunick sitting between Kevin's legs while in the car. This seemed very strange and certainly inappropriate for any father-daughter relationship. Meanwhile, Lisa began to notice changes in her husband and foster daughter. She became suspicious of their relationship and wanted to remove Zunick from the home. Fortunately, Zunick's 18th birthday was approaching on October 27, 2012, and the Knopfel family would have the option to open the door and say goodbye. As Kevin told investigators, however, that wasn't what Kevin wanted. According to court documents, in the month before Zunick's birthday, Kevin confided in her that his wife was worth more dead than alive. He said they had purchased over $750 in life insurance for Lisa, and with that money, he and Zunick could start a new life together. Just them and baby Haley. At this point, Zunick's obsession with baby Haley began to make sense to investigators. Zunick was acting possessively toward Haley because she thought Haley would soon be hers. They just needed to remove Lisa from the picture. Thanks to Zunick's willingness to reveal details about Kevin's involvement in his wife's murder, investigators had enough information to proceed. Even when Kevin refused to share more during his interrogation, Kevin was charged with sexual abuse, complicity in aggravated murder, and conspiracy to commit aggravated murder. There were a total of 11 charges against him. Kevin's trial took place in Lake County, Ohio in June 2014. Zunick testified in court that after she turned 18, Kevin confessed something important. He no longer loved Lisa and wanted to leave. But divorce was not an option if it meant potentially losing custody of Haley. Their other option involved Lisa and a handgun. The two had planned to shoot Lisa and make it look like an accident. On the morning of November 15th, one day before the murder, Kevin shared a new idea with Zunick. He cried to her, threatening to commit suicide if Lisa didn't die first. Zunick agreed to complete the task, and Kevin provided advice on how to kill her foster mother. After Zunick testified at the trial, Kevin Knopfel was convicted of all 11 charges brought against him. Despite denying any involvement, he was sentenced to life in prison. Kevin will be eligible for parole after 30 years. If approved, he could be a free man at age 73. Sabrina Zunick received a similar sentence. If paroled, she will be 49 years old when released. Lisa Knopfel's death was a heartbreaking tragedy, not only for her but also for her children, especially Megan, who had to witness the horrific murder scene, and Haley, the innocent young daughter caught in the dark conspiracy of her biological father and foster sister. This is a cautionary tale about betrayal, greed, and how evil motives can lead to devastating consequences for all involved.